Welcome back. Week 11, we're here. Oh. So, week 11, as I told you guys, I missed class. Well, it's not I missed class on Friday, so I had to spend, and then my weekend was pretty booked. I ended up spending a good majority of my time for like the first lecture, no, maybe 2 days of class playing catch up to catch myself up. But for the most part, the only thing we really did this week is we added on to our Django and Python project. And so I spent time catching up on that, but we just learned about the views and templates and URLs and how that ties to Express. So I want to make it a correction. Last video, I said that Django is the equivalent of Express, but in reality, it's not. Our instructor really didn't tell us what it was kind of the equivalent to with the MERN stack, but apparently for Django, the equivalent of Express from the MERN stack is actually Flask. We didn't touch Flask, but that's something they said that we can learn like after the bootcamp is over. But I just wanted to make that correction because I know I said in the last video that was Django was the equivalent of Express. It's not. So I want to add that last week I completely forgot that we learned PSQL, PSQL, yes, PostgreSQL. I want to add that because I don't know why or how I forgot that, because we spent a day and a lab on it. And the only reason why I'm bringing that back up is because we not only learned that, but it's very important for how we set up the Django Python project. So we did learn that, I believe, Monday or Tuesday of last week. So I did want to add that. Lastly, so I want to say we mainly focus on the Django Python project, as well as our day before project, before we got assigned our projects, we learned about putting React and Django together and how that may or may not be beneficial. So using React as a front end and tying it to Django at the back end instead of using Express. So that was pretty interesting. And for my group project, we actually will be doing a project that's like that. It's not required. But that in short is what we did this week. Still, I feel like because the cohort is like winding down and we're heading into our final week of the cohort, we didn't really learn I won't say we didn't learn a lot. What I would say is they gave us a lot more time to focus on labs. And like I said, labs are our homework. So like we'll learn something in class and then they'll give us a lab to kind of reinforce that learning. And they're called deliverables. So some of them will be deliverables, which means you have to turn them in for completion. And in order to graduate out of the cohort, I think you need to turn in 80% of them on time and they have to work. So we had one that just was like a build on, that was like this is what we did in class, now recreated at home. Sometimes it's usually not like that. It's usually just like a random homework assignment or random lab where it's just we're doing other things. Like for PSQL, we did Carmen, what is it? Where in the world is Carmen? Is it Carmen San Diego? I think that's her name. The girl that's always hiding, you got to go find her. So we'll do stuff like that. Or in this case, it was just just reiterating and redoing what we did in class. So we spent all week doing that. So it's been a pretty chill week. We didn't really, that's why I said we did learn, but it was all centered around learning Django and then one day of doing React, which it's okay. I mean, I think like as I get more experience with it, that might change my opinion about it. But right now, it's whatever to me. So that's pretty much what we did this week. I do want to do some more like updates outside of the week, in the sense of, I was telling you guys to apply for programs or apply, like, I guess I was telling you guys before, like, look, start applying soon. If you want to get a job immediately after boot camp or shortly after boot camp, like go ahead and start applying for jobs, even though you don't think you're ready. But keep in mind that those jobs might call you sooner than you think. So like I was applying with the expectation. When I started this boot camp, I really wanted a job. Like I finished on Friday and Monday Monday's Memorial Day for us, but I finished and I was ready, and I'm like, all right, I'm in my job. Like, but as I've gone through this boot camp, I'm like, I think I need a little bit more time. Like, I don't know about immediately after. I mean, if it happens and they're willing to work with me, but I can tell you that um, I've because I applied early, I've gotten some interviews. I haven't really been able to pass them, and I've already kind of heard that that's a very common theme, because I'm not where I need to be for the technical interview portion. So I don't take it too hard, because I think I would take it a lot harder if I know, or if I knew that like I was on top of algorithms and data structures. I think I would take it a lot harder if I was like that, but or if I was where I needed to be, but I'm not there. So it sucks because it's just like missed opportunities, but I mean, there's going to be opportunity. There's going to be more opportunities, right? So I'm bringing that up to say, keep that in mind when you're applying early. If you know you're not trying to get a job immediately after, you can maybe apply towards the later end. Like a lot of my classmates are starting to apply now. I was a little bummed out because I got an interview with a startup, and I got to the not technical interview, the take home challenge. And I got the take home challenge the weekend that we started our projects. And it was such a struggle to balance. Like, I just had to be honest and told him, like, look, like, my sister's graduation is Saturday, and we're doing mob programming. So for our final project, it's mob programming, which means it's a group. There's 3 of us in a group for our class. So I don't have the time. Like, I don't have the time that I would, in theory, love to commit. If I had gotten this project maybe next week, the take home challenge maybe next week, then it'd be a different story, because I could just sit and code Saturday, even if I didn't go to my sister's graduation. That was only like 2 hours. But we spent a lot of time doing like mob programming. So, and we're doing some today. So I just don't have I had to be realistic and like let them know, like, hey, I would love to complete this challenge. In theory, I think I could do it, but I just can't, And so they just asked me to submit what I had. So I submitted what I had, which was really, it was just like the back end and front end connected, and just, I had put some components together to make sure it worked. And that's all. I didn't even get to do, I just had to explain to them what I was planning to do, but I didn't finish it. So I don't expect to really move past any steps past that. So keep that in mind when you apply early, that those opportunities may come a little sooner than you think. And if you're not prepared for it, you're not going to pass. And it sucks, because I liked the job, I liked the company, and it ties a lot to my previous background in healthcare, but I'm not going to kill myself, And I think that's important to like remember during this journey. It's like, you just can't do it all. Like, some people can, kudos to you, and maybe you're one of those people, but for me, I'm not going to kill myself because I didn't get I got the interview but wasn't able to finish. It's part of life, and it happens, and I think there's going to be more opportunities to come. And I think that was a test for me, and I was just like, I'm not where I need to be, and I just don't have the time to commit. So, and my priorities, I need to pass this project to finish the class. So keep that in mind. I would also like to say that one thing I would definitely say, I'm going to do another video, like doing like a condensed version of like tips and tricks before the bootcamp starts. One thing I can say GA does not do a good job of, that is prepping for technical interviews. We do have coding challenges that we have to complete, and we do have many opportunities to work on those coding challenges during class with classmates. They're not the ones that are due, but we have to do we give them 30, and they have to be done by the end of the cohort. So in 90-ish days, 60-ish days, including, I think it's 60-ish if you're including weekends. I don't remember how many days it is, but they tell us at the beginning. But those coding challenges, not only are they kind of tricky, but when you're in the full-time program, between homework, labs, projects, I don't know anybody. There might be one of my classmates that has, and they just haven't said, but vocally, nobody seems to have finished the coding challenges. And it's not to say that we can't, it's just that there's so many other things on the weekends. You're usually trying to play catch up, learn something, do a lab, do some research, do a project, work with your group. We're running out of time. So I think the more disciplined you are, maybe that will help you in completing those challenges on time. But I don't think they don't really reinforce it. They'll sprinkle in whiteboarding challenges and coding challenges here and there, but I don't think General Assembly does a really good job of prepping you for the technical interview. I think they pull you in with the whole like, and don't get me wrong, this is definitely the best decision, one of the best decisions I've ever made. I would not take back my experience in the program, but they don't do a good job of prepping you for the technical interview. And your projects are what get you in the door. So it has given me the confidence to go forward next week and like in the future and make more projects. But to get the job, they don't emphasize enough about the technical interview and prepping you for that. And now I see where some of the critiques about going to a boot camp come from, because they definitely help, but for me to be here for 3 months and I'm pretty much I'm going to be doing technical interview prep by myself. They give us a lot of resources, but I didn't even realize they were there, and nobody in my class realized we had them. I think it's very interesting, but I think it's very telling. And the reason that came up, this is coming up in this week's video, is because they gave us so much lab time, a lot of that time was devoted to doing the coding challenges. So that because they knew we weren't done with them and they needed to be done by the end of the boot camp, which is for us this Friday. So I would make that note, if you are somebody that is planning to get a job immediately after and you are not fortunate enough to get a company or work with a company or get into a company that, knows you're a boot camp grad, and or if you're trying to aim towards one of those like Amazon, Facebook, those FANG companies, you need to start your prep early. Do not rely on General Assembly to help you get through that portion. I think some of the fundamentals will help, but do not rely on General Assembly to help you with that. So you're either going to need to start before, during, and keep a set schedule, or after, but do not rely on General Assembly to prep you for that. And that's definitely like an honest review that I've spoken to many classmates and we all kind of feel the same. So I would definitely say do not rely on that for that, but do not underestimate what the technical interview is. What's going to get you the job. The recruiters may not be technical, so they just see a nice project, but then you start doing coding interviews and whiteboard challenges and things like that, and General Assembly does not do a good job of prepping you for that. So that came up this week for us because we were all kind of like trying to get everything together and finish any last minute things. So that's it for me, but that's pretty much what we did for this week. So we're moving into project week. I have 2 partners. There's 3 of us in a group. So, for next week's video, I'll be talking about that and anything else that needs to be talked about. Lastly, I know some of you guys have asked me about the ISA. I do plan on doing a video after the boot camp about the ISA and my experience and my thoughts on the ISA. But in the meantime, if you want immediate or like a little bit more comprehensive review right now at this point, my classmate did make a video on the ISA, so I will link her video in the description below and you guys can check it out. And then I'll also do my own take on the video, but I highly recommend you go watch her video if you're curious about paying for the boot camp, or a different way of paying for the boot camp. So that's all from me. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope, I try and keep it honest and real with you guys, because I wish I had some of this experience and guide and like somebody to talk to, like watch and get some more information from. Like I said, you guys are more than welcome to contact me. I love speaking with you guys. So with that being said, have a great rest of your week, your day, your life, and I will see you guys next week and when I am officially a General Assembly software engineer. So have a great rest of your week and I'll talk to you guys later.